Hello. Today I would like to engineer a solution of my daily problem. Let's say my day starts at routine thing. I have a YouTube channel, and in order to upload some videos, I need to create them, obviously, make some operations which are quite routine, but it's like 3 different operations and YouTube upload for each video. Let's say daily I have about 3 videos. It means 9 operations which I'm not happy about. Those videos are generated and assembled in Python script. Obviously it's involving some OpenAI stuff. So 6 years ago I had, let me share my Firefox here. I used to have a project, let me make it bigger. Okay, I can make it bigger here. Good. Maybe I can make it full screen. But okay, let's leave it for now. So 6 years ago I had this project in Angular and Django. Unfortunately, it's been quite long and I would like to rewrite it. So the idea was quite straightforward. I can arrange some operations absolutely free. Like I can make a few operations such as resize image, make it grayscale, convert this image to stream, maybe collect some list of images and make it video stream. So it was done like a pipeline, and this project was about it. It could let me find, where was it? I think this tab. Yes, it was backend for this thing. I don't understand what's going on in there. No, thank you. How much different pipelines did it have? Let me check core. I think it was in JSON schema. I don't remember where was it. Project models. I think in workers. Yes, here it is. So each of these workers, such as fetch URL, get object property, etc., it was random image. Nice. It was adjustable just like this. So in UI, I could simply say I have fetch URL, no wonder what was there. I could do something with this URL. There was get object property with JSON schema, etc. And I think this should make a solution for my current problem. My current problem is quite straightforward. I need to make a few requests to OpenAI, provide some sort of moderation for that output from OpenAI. That moderation should happen in some mobile app, maybe in Telegram or any other messenger I have on mobile phone. And after that, after I approve some content, it should be moved to processing and generation. So this pipeline we have here, it was 6 years ago. Yes, first was done 6 years ago. Nice. It should be extended. I think I will have to rewrite it. Maybe updated, but we'll assemble that stuff in requirements, obviously. I'll describe what I want in the document. Let me do it in VS Code. So, what kind of problem am I going to solve? Problem. I'll increase that and make it bigger. I think you see it. Automate some every day. Those operations are first get list of text. I wouldn't say get list of text. I must iterate through list of different texts. Approve some of them, generate yes, so the things requires a few things. I must let's say iterate Sub-Zero SSH to the remote server. It's located in I have old laptop and it's located in there, so I'm working from different machines, and it's important because if things happens, I have this data available at any time. That's, for me at least, it's a bit important. So SSH to remote server, execute script. Let's do that. Script. Then, if this execution causes first iterate and approvals, after that I must execute another script. It's the same Python file, but it's poetry, like poetry run. Let me provide an example. And execute script, another script, it's the same project. And another script. Yes, so that's how it's done right now. I'm not happy, but since it's console stuff, it needs input. It's taking like 15, maybe 20 minutes a day to make it. But a list of different text, let's say it's from 5 items. Improve some of them and upload this to the channel. Daily it's 2, maybe 3 videos. So what's my plan about involving pipelines? Let me open Firefox again and make it a bit less like this. So the idea is quite straightforward. Instead of making SSH some user input, I need to update. This is my problem. Let's call it solution or requirements. Yeah, let's call it requirements. What I want it to be, maybe solution. proposed solution, because it might not be one of them. Its first solution, it's to make some pipelines. Make pipeline which will look like, maybe which will contain these steps. First, fetch 10 texts from, let's say OpenAI. I have a bit different model, but it's from OpenAI API. Yes, then it must send those texts to make pipelines. Make, I think, let's call it 2 pipelines. Line 1. Fetch and text from OpenAI, so those text to Messenger or mobile phone. Let's call it Telegram. I remember those bots are quite handy, so we can use it. Pipeline 2. That's pipeline must execute. Obviously, both of those pipelines. Make the pipelines first. This one. It must execute daily. Let's call it at 7 AM local time. Execute every minute until nothing to fetch. So the idea of this pipeline would be execute fetching from bot every minute. If bot has no new messages, that means there is nothing to fetch and it can simply kill itself. The idea in here would sound like fetch messages from Telegram until there's nothing to do. To fetch. I don't like why that it's repeated. Till some event. Fetch messages from Telegram until there's nothing to fetch. That's good. Every message from user me must trigger another pipeline with that's how we have different pipelines, and the idea is to get state and result of each pipeline. So in first pipeline, its result is n texts. That's important. In here, must trigger upon with result, some result. Pipeline 3. I'll explain it right now. Make a few 3 pipelines. Okay. This pipeline will be triggered by webhook. In this particular case, pipeline 1, pipeline 2. Yes. pipeline to maybe execute every minute until some event. This is important that I might sleep, it might be vacation or whatever. It must check my output. So it must wait. Must wait for input. Maybe we should be less specific, maybe more specific. It must wait result of first pipeline and my input. That would be better. Every minute until some event. That event is pipeline 1. It's called, yeah, is completed. And Telegram has my decision, maybe approval. That would be better. Execute every minute until some event. It should not be executed every minute, I think. It should be executed after pipeline 1 is done. Has a result. That will be better. And then execute every minute while Telegram has my approvals. Yes, so if I approve 2 videos of 5 results from first pipeline, it's 5. Telegram yields he approved 2. That's important. Then we should fetch those messages until there is nothing to fetch. This one should be updated. I'm thinking about UI in Telegram. It should be like, I like this text, I press button, then I read another text, I press button, then I read another text, I don't like it, I don't press anything, and there is big form. Let's check Telegram API. If they have that Telegram bot message formatting. Let's check. Style text with message entities. That's maybe what we want. Any code content. What is that? No. I remember there was buttons in a message. Telegram buttons. Maybe it's better to call a form. Added support callbacks for button inline keyboard markup. I haven't used it like 10 years, I think. Sorry. It's also possible to ask ChatGPT, but it might yield us some outdated results. Maybe I should do different without need of crazy forms. Let me explain. It's possible. As a result, we don't need to make it. Execute after pipeline 1 has a result. It's not correct. It must be triggered by webhook. Pipeline 1 that webhook must execute a fetch messages from Telegram until there is nothing to fetch. This should be updated. We should fetch it once per 10 minutes. It will be fine. We shouldn't spam API from Telegram. Fetch once per 10 minutes. Or let's make it 1 hour. What if I sleep? Let's say 6 hours. So it should be 6 times an hour. 36 attempts. That will be fine. The idea would be it has a list of buttons with text, and I simply press this button. Maybe I went to drink some tea. It fetched, okay, we need first video. Then I said, okay, fine, I want this too. And it will cycle for 6 hours, so I have 6 hours for approvals. Every message might trigger another. So this is important. Every message from Telegram user must trigger another pipeline with some result. Another pipeline, let's call it pipeline 3 with result from pipeline 2 or pipeline 1. And I think it's about, I have approved 3 messages. They should contain ID and there should be result ID, and approved for trigger pipeline 3. Input data for is pipeline 1 result. Input with my approvals with users. That should be correct output of this thing. So I got message. Yes. Pipeline 3 triggered by webhook. Pipeline 2. The problem will describe it in interface. Maybe I should do it here. Input. Or how it triggers. And here it triggers once a day. Let's call it pipeline 1. Daily 7 AM local time. Input. None. Better current date. Maybe. Yes, current date and some and prompt for OpenAI. Process fetch and text from OpenAI API, then those text for Telegram. Output. It should be a file with mapping. I wouldn't call it a file because my final vision of this project, it's multiple workers which has some storage and that storage is accessible from those workers. Those workers get tasks according to their current load, etc. But it shouldn't be complicated for now. We shouldn't overcomplicate simple things. So right now it will be a file with mapping results, which looks like. I think it should be some sort of JSON because it's quite straightforward. ID, some UUID. Obviously, it must be that. It should be date. What kind of date? Obviously, date triggered. It's today 07 10. I think, yeah, that will be fine in this format. Then we need to pass data. Here should be input. Output. It should be array. I think here it should be also an array. Output is, it should be you know what? It shouldn't be that complicated. Let's not make lists. What? Current date and prompt for OpenAPI fetch and text. When we ask OpenAI about numbers, it always has problems, which means I should not make n text, I should make one text. Fetch one text, send that text to Telegram for approval. So file with the relevant data. Input and output. It should be a text. Date triggered. Date completed. Let's consider it as done it within 10 seconds. This is the result of that pipeline. It should be one. So the second pipeline triggered by webhook, correct, fetch. It should not fetch first pipeline generates texts. Second pipeline should send those texts to Telegram and wait. So I don't want to make it like 3 pipelines for one task. Let it call pipeline 2. This would be pipeline 3 and this would be pipeline 4. This is, let's make it the same. Triggered webhook from pipeline 1. Its input is oh, by the way, I forgot it. Send Maybe it shouldn't end save result well response. The daily current date and prompt yes, process output file with results which looks like result response. Looks like correct input output. Yes, that is correct. Then it should have a webhook from pipeline 1. Correct. Input file. File is result from pipeline 1. Process. Send. Mapping. Maybe send this file result 20. Output, what should it do? By the way, here, file and webhook. Webhook for pipeline 2. Yes. This pipeline sender. And message. For approval, it's only sending, it doesn't do anything else, it just send it. Output, webhook for pipeline 3. Pipeline 3, what it does, it's quite straightforward, it does the same. It's fetch the results from Telegram. Fetch approval results from Telegram. The contract between those Telegram and pipeline will do it next. I mean, maybe next stream. Right now we are planning how it will work. Pipeline 3 triggers. Webhook. No, not a webhook. And remember that Telegram bot might call your service. So let me check if it's possible. Make it bigger. Get updates and set up. Updates is a mechanism server. Yes, we need set webhook. Through the concept, it's fairly simple. Okay, what does it do? The short version. You will need a server that IPv6. Yes, that's what I need. Because right now I need to turn on my power. I don't understand, my laptop contains like, let me show you. Wow. This is my laptop. It's 2014 MacBook Pro. It's quite, it's not that efficient. And its desk, I think its monitor is, it's half alive. Yes, it doesn't turn on. some reason, I'm sorry. The idea is quite straightforward. I use it as a headless server. Once upon a time I passed SSH key here, and now I need to use any other, like my personal computer on Windows, to make an SSH connection and call things I need. But it does a job and it's fine. So in this case I must move some functionality to Telegram and call it, well, I don't like this idea. How else can I, let me check. So we have pipelines which may be inside of our server rack. It's workers, it's useless hardware, but at least I have found its purpose. So I send a message to Telegram. Telegram must send me a webhook to some dedicated server. It sounds good, but in practice it's not fine. There was another, it's like pool. I think it's also described here. Get updates. Yes. Get updates, update ID. Yes. That's what I need. So it won't be a webhook from Telegram, it will be webhook from pipeline. Pipeline 2 input. What kind of input should it contain? What's about contract? So in pipeline 2 I have sent a message for approval. It has ID, it has message ID. In here I must send a webhook with some data. That data contains message ID from Telegram, some sort of response ID, and a text which will be moderated. I mean this text from pipeline 1. How did we code file with a response which looks like the input file with results from pipeline 1? Process send a result, send a file, contents. Well, I would call it not a file, but send. It's about contract. What should we send? UUID and output. Yes. Send. Maybe JSON to Telegram for Pro. So how will it look? JSON, I think it should look like so was file is the best response here, ID. It should be text. And it should contain a few IDs such as message ID, something like that. Maybe should do it again like that, but it causes complications. Message ID, which I think it's UID as well, and pipeline. File with response. Result ID. Yes, and here we should call it result ID. And also one thing to mention, these files should contain, its names should be UUID related to pipeline itself. So file with response, which looks like file, let's call it that. It should look like this. File named pipeline UUID and sort of suffix, because pipeline might have multiple files in future. For now, yes, it should be fine. Should I think about that in MVP? It's possible now, but let's proceed. So this pipeline UUID suffix should be in result ID pipeline UUID. Let's call it 1. And it should not be a list, it should be that. Oh, that looks correct. Send message to Telegram for approval. Trigger on pipeline level. Yes. File with result. Files with a result from. For now, let's do it one file, because if we do it n files, we'll have a lot of problems. I remember those problems. I think it's still in that project. Watermark as an image. Let me check. It was somewhere random image. Object array. Yes, it also was one file. It's good. So let's file named with the response, which looks like pipeline UID. Yes, that is correct. So we send this JSON to Telegram for approval. Let's call it action. Request approve. It's just draft contract. It's possible it will look like this, but it's also possible it won't. I would like it to look like this. Let's sort this like this, saving. Yeah, this is correct. Then output webhook for pipeline 3. Fetch approval results from Telegram. Yes. So it is triggered by pipeline 2, yes. It's input. That is important. It's output, it's not just webhook, it's also file. Just like this. And its content should be the same. That's important. Yes, it should be the same. I still wonder, do we need it the same? Let's keep it the same. We'll rework it later. So we have output and webhook input. That's important. Each pipeline, let's say I have executed 5 pipelines like one. It's not me, it's crontab. I have generated 5 messages for Telegram. In 2 hours, I have approved at least 3 of them. That means it's triggered by and waits for updates. Telegram, or let's say 6 hours. Yes, its input is file input file is a result from pipeline 2, because we need to match updates. If we have some message from Telegram, let's assume I have made a typo in approval, or I pressed something in UI which is not inside of those buttons, maybe I made /help, it should also receive that /help as update message, and it should not cause chaos, so it should respond only to those which Telegram message ID or the button ID is inside of response. We'll consult with that a bit later, but for now it should input yes process. Match Telegram message against file with a file result from. Yeah, this is correct. About fetch once per 10 minutes. Yes. Make will. So there are a few things. I do not want to waste resources for simple for sleep, etc. I wanted to check if there is, it's not an error, it's no result yet, then we go sleep. It's like, I wouldn't call it circuit breaker. But it might be. So, webhook and waits for updates from Telegram for 6, not for 6 hours. And how to call it? is something like Polar, but it should execute the same pipeline within some fixed time period. It's like cron tab, execute cron tab until this is done. And wake up, something like this. And let's keep it as it was. It's sleep. To do, make it should I make it an error or not? If, for example, if I don't like something, I don't want to press decline because it would be 5 operations instead of 3. It's annoying every morning. Click, 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 click. I better awaken, click, click. Yes, that causes questions. Wake, make it recording while killing. That would be correct. Let's think about it later. When we'll design pipelines, there definitely will be error handling. So if network for my model is dead, we should simply retry. But I cannot leave it. Okay, we'll leave it. File with result from 5.2, yes. And the message, match message against file result. And check. For okay, that's the process. Output. There will be another file. Yes. Output file named. Yes, it is correct. I wouldn't call it with response. With approvals, which looks like action approved or not. Yes, pipeline result ID, yes, this is correct. Message, yes. Text, yes. It should be the same. And it should make a webhook for pipeline number 4. Pipeline number 4, its idea is quite straightforward. So after we have approved text, we need to execute a few more quite straightforward actions, such as that text must move to text-to-speech engine. TTS from text. It can be your local model or OpenAI, or at least in Windows I think there is TTS speech settings. Yes, there is also speech, so you can consider it's a good option. Text triggers. Webhook. Pipeline 3. Its input. Its file. But what's most important, because this operation it might cost you some resources, including some money or Kubernetes, whatever. it should process only approved entries. Its output. First of all, its output should be a file with text-to-speech and with file with text-to-speech. Yes, it would be correct, because all those pipelines have something in similar. They have some container or process ID. So each pipeline well, like I wouldn't call it pipeline 1, let's call it action, or let's check what was in that Firefox in order to processor. It was called processor. I would like to keep the same syntax, because if I have that code, it should be simply reused in here. So make pipelines which contains so this will be pipeline 1 generate videos coordinate text. It contains of processor and like the processor. It's step, let's call it step 1, yes, because each of them will contain different processor. For example, send HTTP request, I think I showed you there was fetch URL. It was written when 2 years ago. I think whole process was written. Yes, I started doing it 6 years ago, so its most recent push to this thing, it was 2 years ago. So what do we have here? Text might be small, let me increase it. Yeah, this should be fine. So there was a processor which used some simple requests. You could define something like this. I want fetch some URL, and its result could be used in string, null. I would like to expand it to like file binary or whatever, maybe stream. So this project will be simply rewritten. Instead of Angular, I'll use TypeScript React because I'm using it for a while now. Its Python part was done in, I think, Django. What's inside of SRC? Yes, it was Django. Spy. REST framework, yes, it was Django. But for now, I think we need to obviously rewrite it because they were quite big problems. I don't remember why I decided to abandon it. Okay, eventually I will figure it out. So next, it's step 1. Let's read pipeline. Let's call it step 3. Yes, and here pipeline. Generate videos according and prove text. Yes, step 1, it's working. Text. Okay, let's proceed. I don't have too much time. Oh, this thing I have rounded. Okay, let's do it 20 more minutes. Step 4, text details from text that is correct. Then step 5. There is a problem because if you have text like 50 words, maybe 100 words, these video shorts have subtitles and we need to transcribe it. So at least in OpenAI there is transcription. From this. Its interface is quite interesting. So it's transcription with details. There are time codes, how much in each array. There is array of elements, and each array contains some portion of text which is made by voice. I wouldn't call it actor, it's AI voice. So we need to generate transcription. It should be also made by webhook from step 4, input file from step 4, process, it's submit MP3, let's call it file. To API result in here, name status and MP3. In here with transcription and JSON. It's important the transcription should contain details. It's called detailed transcription. After transcription is done, it's important to generate backgrounds. So step 5, step 6. Each transcription, because of this, it will not file, it will be files. And let's call it some suffix. In here we cannot avoid this problem. No, it won't be files. It will be one file, yes. Next step, it's where we cannot avoid this problem. It will be generate images according transcription. That's important. I'll explain why. So let's assume your video has 30 words, which means it should contain at least 3 different segments. It means 3 different background images with text. And here we have input as the triggers, obviously webhook from 5. Let me write it down, trigger from 5. Its input is the only file with result from step 5. Yes, that is correct. Process. each transcription segment must be sent let's go to DALI, but it's also a stable diffusion or whatever. What I was thinking about, it's possible that this step takes array of elements, but it triggers at least 3 or however that number of segments. It's possible that it will trigger n segments hooks for stable diffusion, but if we do it and we use one account for example DALI, there was a limitation. Let me find it. Usage. It's not cap or whatever, it's usage. I think it should be described in that model. It was called. I remember it was like 5 images per minute or something like that. But there was also a problem if you are trying to generate a few images simultaneously, it could yield an error. Also, it has quite odd moderation, which means some texts which are output from OpenAI, which moderation provided by OpenAI, they might not be valid for DALI. I don't remember how it was called. It was not usage, but concurrency limitations, TPS for images concurrently. Yes, here it is. Let me increase the text. It takes 50 seconds in total, but no one answered. Why not? A while ago. Here, solution, client can generate 30 blog posts at once. Yes, so there are limitations. And if I would like to generate extra steps for each transcription, I might have problems. So in this case, I should not do it. I should simply generate images according to transcription. For I think that would be easiest solution. Each transcription must be sent to DALI in for cycle to wait happy usage. I think it's called like this. As for stable diffusion, I used to run it on my local machine. It was quite odd. I have not the best experience with it. Maybe because I am not able to do some good prompts and parameters, but for now I'm using DALI and I already met a few limitations. So the idea is output multiple files named suffix and step 7. Let's simply write what it should do. Generate images. So we have transcription, images, and audio. So we simply need to assemble them into one file. Assemble ATS transcription and images to one file, video. Step 7, it should be fine, and maybe step 8, we should send it 8, send the result. Yeah, so this is what I would like to do. I have this script working in Python. It's quite straightforward, but to make it with pipelines and processors, I will have to do a few more things. That's already too much. So how it might look under the hood? Step 1. Send HTTP requests, which means we should let's check on the things. Let's assemble what we have. 10 more minutes, I think, will be enough. Step 4, test from text. Step 5, transcription. That's all things are easy to do, but this one would be different. So assemble TTS, transcription and images to one video. The problem is that transcription must be positioned somewhere in a video, which means in the center, maybe on top, maybe on bottom, depending on content and multiple images. So it's definitely not okay when your image has main thing in the center and subtitles of that short are in the center. So you cannot see what happens there. And that step should be, let's call it adjustable. So maybe it should work with AI, which says, okay, this picture has main content in the center, so you should move your transcription or whatever text to the top. Maybe it's main content in the top, so you should move it subtitles to the center. So this step, it's not like assemble transcription and images. Let's call it 7. Step 8. Here, step 9. Where is it? Step 7. I need create slide. That would be correct. Create slides from images and transcription segments. That is correct. Then I must assemble TTS transcription no, and slides to video. Yeah, that would be correct. So right now we need to describe what's main functionality of each step. Let's say we have 6 minutes. in here it's HTTP request. In here send message to Telegram for approval. It's HTTP request as well. Fetch approval from Telegram. I think, let me check what their documentation says. Send. Push notifications channel. Buttons. Yes, this is what I was looking for. User can interact with your bot via buttons or even inline buttons. Yes. This article describes and pressing buttons. What do we use there? Let's do different Python. Yes. What do we use here? HTTPX. Yes, it's also HTTP. So let's call it HTTP request. Library. TTS from text. I remember that it's HTTP request, which yes, it's transcription from, it's the same. Generate images according to transcription. It's same, there is nothing extraordinary. I'm afraid it will be all the same. No, this one is not the same. It's image magic. No, there was a library named video edit. Let me check it. Video edit. Yes, I think this is it, because I have that code somewhere. Where was it? Repositories. What? Where is my repository? It's, of course, Jesus. I think it's in here. Where was it? Yes, it was movie by editor. So let me update it. User to combine text transcription and image assembled to slide. It is the same. Movie by editor to combine slides, slide duration, determination in That's what I remember about it, and that's also the same. So what I see in here, this one all I/O, this one is CPU for sure, it's like 100%. This one is also CPU operation. And what's complicated, all steps till step 6, I think, yes, step 6, it's input and output, it's one-to-one everywhere except this step. It's one text, one transcription, and multiple images, which will make these two steps to take like 99% of time. Yes, it will be tough. So I will try not to make it any longer. For now, I made a plan. Let's move it. We don't need it. So this is our plan. Next stream, I'll start make some real requirements. It will be also without coding, but we'll consult with documentation and old code, because there is Python code which definitely needs to be rewritten. It's been 6 years since then. Yes, next stream will be about browser and documentation and old code in order to assemble that thing into one. It's quite boring, I understand, but it must be done, because other way I can stuck somewhere with what to do next. And I think this particular project development will take, let's say, 1 week maximum, if I take it every day, but I want to do it with you, with the stream, so it will take months for sure. I stream on Friday, Saturday and Wednesday. 3 days, yes, 2 months, maybe 3. Let's see what happens. So, like, subscribe and comment. Thank you. Bye.